Genius way
I
this
thought what happened
reporter
was a fluke. I thought it
uncovered
was a one-off
Airbnb
thing, just
scammers.
one bad guy.
Airbnb scammers. You know what's funny? That's actually I've never actually heard of Airbnb scammers. Like I've heard of eBay, Amazon, uh, not really Airbnb, but I think even Uber scammers and Lyft scammers. But the idea of Airbnb scammers, this is gonna be interesting.
But it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Journalist Ali Conti booked an Airbnb in Chicago and
Okay.
ended up uncovering a massive scam.
I got a phone call a few minutes before we were supposed to check in saying the place was flooded and we weren't going to be able to go to the place. Thankfully, he invited us to stay at a much bigger place and implied that it was much nicer. We found out it was much bigger and definitely not much nicer only when we arrived. Basically, the way I described the place was as a flop house. That's to say there was no real furniture, there was no forks and knives or plates.
Like no, but seriously, how would you guys feel? Like how would anybody feel doing that though? Putting all that money just to not get like a place? Because the idea of Airbnb is not going through hotel. It's not going through the hotel and it's actually getting like a place that feels more like homey. So like feels like a home but not like a hotel. Has like everything like that you obviously need, bed, TV. Like some Airbnbs be giving people Netflix. Like it's that good. Unlike hotels that don't really go that far away, you have to like if you get to a hotel, you have to like pay for like some certain TVs like HBO, Showtime if you want to watch like boxing or something. So it's just like this is just crazy. This is crazy. So they say that the girl is saying that she doesn't have any furniture. So I mean, I guess the normal thing to do is like you just gotta do what you gotta do. You definitely gonna start buying furniture. Like I mean, I'm probably sure you wouldn't think it's a scam at that point. You just think, okay, this person was just not prepared or like very unprepared. I mean, I guess some people would leave though. I mean, if I put money into a place, I mean, damn, it's gonna be annoying. I mean, that's some like you gotta put like some low ratings for that place, man, for that person instead of the place because I mean the place probably doesn't even exist, right? So you gotta put like ratings for that. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
So really any sign that people lived there, everything was really dirty and gross. It was just 8 beds in a giant apartment complex, and that was all that there was. So it was very clear that no one actually lived in this place. We ended up staying there for 2 nights. We had booked 4 nights on Airbnb, and then the guy kicked us out, saying that other guests were coming and we were going to need to leave.
They booked 4 nights and you're kicking them out by the second night? What? Wait, I'm guessing, let me guess. The guy came in angry. You know what? You guys have stayed here for too long. You gotta go. Wait. They just came in they just came in the day before. Like they just left the day before and this day, like what do you mean that they're gonna what the this is crazy, man. This is crazy. What the oh my god. That's some scamming, man. That's some scamming. They haven't even paid. That means give them their full money. I wonder if she's gonna say that then. And give them their money or give them half of their money since they stayed like 2 nights, right? I mean, since you wanna make it. But that's crazy though.
And we decided to worry about getting a refund when we got home because we were in a different city where we didn't really know where we were, and it was just very stressful to deal with at the time.
The experience wasn't just stressful, it was expensive.
We booked our Airbnb for about $1,200, and after going back and forth with a bunch of case managers on Airbnb over the course of 2 weeks or so, I was able to get back about $400. And not only were we out the money that we gave Airbnb, we also had to book a hotel. So it ended up costing us a lot of money to get caught up in this scam.
Man, all they could have just gone, all they could have done from the beginning, just go through a hotel. I guess that one is safer. I mean, if the hotel is right, I mean, I think I've heard some hotels that also scamming too. So yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, crazy world out there.
It's a classic bait and switch. You have photos on Airbnb that look really nice and seems too good to be.
So it's like you gotta think of it like what's that called? I mean, yeah, scamming, but what's it other thing called where catfish? Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, that's it. You gotta think of it like catfish. It's like, oh, fake girl, fake guy. Someone, probably a model from Instagram, just use the person's picture and yeah, crazy.
Be true, and then it ends up being too good to be true because that place isn't actually available for rent.
Too good to be true.
After the incident, Conti decided to investigate.
When I got home and started looking into what happened, it became really obvious that this guy was not above board who we talked to. First of all, he called me from a Los Angeles number and we were in Chicago, so it was pretty obvious he wasn't like a local property owner. So I tried to do a reverse lookup for the phone number, found that it wasn't really a phone number, it was a Google number that someone had made, maybe that day or something, so it was not traceable.
Damn.
The person I allegedly rented from went by Becky and Andrew, a nice couple standing on the beach, holding hands, that kind of a thing. Like, who would be suspicious of that? But as
She isn't lying though. Like, who would be suspicious of that? Like, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, of course, Becky. I mean, she sounds nice. The name Becky is just, of course, that's a nice person. Of course, that person's not a scammer. Of course, that person's not gonna rip you off. Like, Becky, come on, man, it's Becky. It's Becky.
As it turns out, that was kind of their formula for creating these fake profiles, was to have a man and a woman's name, and photos that just looked too staged to actually be real, like a very Instagram-friendly kind of couple.
It's Becky. What do you expect?
Then I started looking at the photos and put them in Google search,
Then
did
you
a
found
reverse
it from
search,
someone
saw that
else.
they were coming up on
Oh my god.
surfing websites and stuff,
Of course.
and then started doing the same thing for some of the other profiles.
The guy is the person that scammed him it made it look so easy. Found it on, other stock pages?
Files that had left them reviews. So I click on those, look up their photos, see that they were also stock photos.
So who was behind the curtains?
I tried extremely hard to get in touch with this person, as you might imagine. The closest I got was I called his property rental company that he had listed on LinkedIn, and I talked to someone who said his name was Patrick. Patrick seemed very concerned and afraid about the fact that I said I was reporting on this piece. He swore that he wasn't the person himself, but I don't know if this person actually existed. He wouldn't give me a last name. It's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
Conti wrote about her experience for Vice, and her article struck a chord.
I've heard
Nice.
from hundreds, if not more than 1,000 people who have said they've had similar experiences. So while I can't comment or speculate about the scope of this problem, it seems to be happening all over the world.
Of course, this can't be the first time. I mean, if people are scamming you on Tinder and scamming you on all these other places, like of course Airbnb is gonna also have their own scammers. Come on.
World.
Law enforcement took notice.
Wait,
The
it went
morning
there?
after
It went that
it
far?
came out, I did get contacted by a member of the FBI who
No.
expressed interest in looking into this kind of fraud.
And Airbnb paid attention as well.
After the article came out and went viral and presented what I can only imagine was an enormous public-facing crisis for them, they did promise to verify all 7 million of their listings by the end of 2020. And it's unclear.
Man, the fact that they don't do that is so stupid. Why would you not verify, man? Like, you literally make so much money. Like, at least the best you can do is to verify all these people so that people are not gonna be unsafe. Like, it's just the smartest thing to do. Like, you gotta verify who's who, verify like the places, where is where. Like, is it in LA? Is it in Chicago? Like, oh my god, man. Like, wow. Like, it's just crazy how like a company like Airbnb can like do something like this, like verify, like especially when it comes to the places, man. Like, damn.
Clear how they're going to do that. They haven't given a lot of detail about what their plans are for that, but evidently they're trying to fix the problem.
Evidently, they're trying to fix the problem. Oh my god. Hopefully they do, man, before it hurts other people. I mean, no one wants to waste their money on. No one wants to like go through all this stress, man. Like wasting money and not getting the perfect place and going through hotels. It's like, come on, man. I want the Airbnb. This is what you get. Like,
Conti says the company hadn't done enough to protect guests from these
course we
kinds of scams.
There's always risks when you're doing business with strangers, right? But historically, they haven't been much help when those kind of transactions go wrong. They kind of take a very hands-off approach and say, that's between the two of you, we just facilitate the communication.
Of course, they're kind of like the middleman or something. It's just like, oh yeah, the seller is, the renter is putting out Airbnb, and Airbnb is showcasing to the buyer. They're like the middleman. It's like, oh yeah, we see nothing, we do nothing. It's like Airbnb, man, come on.
Don't actually do any of the policing that you would expect. If you had a bad experience at a hotel, there's a human being that you could go talk to and you know what you're supposed to get in terms of customer service. With a platform like Airbnb, that stuff doesn't really exist.
In a statement to InsideEdition.com, Airbnb said engaging in deceptive behaviors, such as substituting one listing for another or leaving fraudulent reviews, are clear violations of our community standards. And we take these reports very seriously. Based on the reported information, we have removed the hosts brought to our attention and will continue to investigate further. The company has reached out to Conti and her party to provide support to them. Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky recently announced the company is introducing consumer protections to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. These include an Airbnb guest guarantee, a 24/7 neighbor hotline, and expanded screenings of so-called high-risk reservations. The company also announced that it is banning quote-unquote party houses, following a deadly shooting at an Airbnb rental being used for a Halloween party in Orinda, California.
Damn, I did not even expect that was gonna go there, but okay. Whoa, killing. People are going that far. Oh my god.
So how can you protect yourself from online lodging
Please tell
scammers?
me, I want to know.
The safest thing you can do is book a hotel if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, I would just say really closely scrutinize the people leaving reviews for your host. They may be 5-star reviews, but are they actually real reviews? You need to click on those.
Like, I ask myself that all the time. Oh my god, we think alike. Man, this chick think alike. I literally ask myself that all the time, man. Every time I'm going on Amazon and I'm looking at something that's 5 stars and the name is just like, the this thing is never detailed. It's never like, it's always like, oh, it's a good product, 5 stars. Like, what? No way. Come on, man. It's a good product, 5 stars. It's like 3. No, you need to give them 3 stars if it's a good product. Then you're not like, oh, he did this for me 4, and he did this extra thing 5. Like, say more. Like, she's right, man. Like, oh, these people are just scary, man. 5 stars, man. She probably even did see the 5 stars and was like amazed by it and was like, yeah, this is probably good.
Profiles and see if they themselves are property owners. They may also have 12 properties and, you know, be actually the host leaving themselves a review.
Hosts' profile images can also be a giveaway.
One tell that I found pretty common is the photos. I mean, you can do a reverse lookup, but also if people aren't showing their face. If they look very staged, a lot of the photos they were using were people with their head turned away from the camera. So that makes it harder for someone to call them out and be like, hey, you're using my photo.
Yeah.
You know, that's like one way to kind of get around that, is to not actually have somebody's face associated with the
right
account.
on that.
Despite all,
She's definitely right on that. You can't, I mean, you're not gonna know, like, if someone is using your photo, but it's a photo of you in a way where, like you're facing backwards, right? Like, you just think it's someone else. You'd be like, oh yeah, I have a photo like, you might just look at it and be like, I have a photo like that. But that, you just think it's not you. You just think it's someone else because it's not really showing your face, right? So it makes so much sense, but yeah, that's really tough, man.
all the attention generated by her article, Conti says her phantom hosts may be back at it.
Since the article came out, some of their profiles have been shut down, but the scammer has started creating new ones. So I would just caution everyone to be careful out there, because I think that as many profiles as Airbnb shuts down, they're probably going to find a way to start the scam all over again.
Conti says her experience holds cautionary lessons for people in the so-called sharing economy.
The moral of this tale is that you just have to not necessarily trust these platforms in the same way that you would traditional services like a taxi cab service or a hotel service. With those services, you at least know what you're getting. They're regulated by the government in some way. With these services, they say that they're just platforms to connect people and that they're not actually, in the business of policing the behavior of people who use them. So just be extra careful, and if you can afford to use the ones that are regulated, you should.
As for Conti, it may be some time before she uses Airbnb again.
I walked away from the experience thinking maybe I would use Airbnb again. I don't think I plan on using it.
Really? Because of that one problem? Oh my god. The thing is that Airbnbs actually they do a good job. Like, honestly, you gotta give credit to where credit is due. But I mean, that just go to that one person, or be careful, or just be much more careful. I think Airbnb is dope for real, but it's just like, yeah, when you go to like scammers, it sucks. It really sucks. But when you go to someone that's actually genuine, or someone that's actually for real, like, I think you'll really enjoy your time.
Until they at least follow through on their promise to verify all their listings, and even then I'm going to want to make sure that they've actually done that. So we'll see.
This is InsideEdition.com.